Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's premium review in which we are taking a look at the Italian C.202D, the first plane reward that you can get for the winter event this year. 2.3 battle rating this plane, and the 202s are fantastic planes, always have been. The performance at 2.3 battle rating is absolutely fabulous, and this D variant also seems to be good. Now, what I also heard is that the BREDA-SAFAT cannons, machine guns, the lighter calibers of the Italians have been improved. They used to be garbage, of course. They used to be terrible, with basically it being pop guns, spaghetti guns, all the names have come by for these guns. But they have been improved, and I have really noticed the difference. They are actually effective. So if you get 4 of these machine guns, they are actually quite effective, and that is a blessing. This makes me refeel the whole Italian tree, and it becomes very worthy of a revisit, this whole tree, especially planes with these lower caliber guns. Anyway, we talked about the speed before as well. This is a very fast plane. The maximum speed in this plane at sea level without WEP is 483 kilometers an hour, and with WEP 500. At 4,500 meters, she can go up to 455 without WEP and 473 with WEP. And finally, at 6,500 meters, you can take her to 415 without WEP and 415 with WEP. So it doesn't make any difference. WEP starts to be useless around 5,000-6,000 meters. It just stops working there, and you don't get the boost anymore. So this plane is the most powerful below 4,500 meters for sure. But this is a very fast plane at 2.3 battle rating. One of the, if not the fastest planes. I don't have all the stat cards next to each other here, of course, that I made over the years, but this definitely is up there, especially in a dive. This plane in a dive is absolutely ludicrous for 2.3 battle rating. 803 kilometers an hour before she redlines, and 880 before she rips apart. 880 kilometers an hour before she rips apart. This is jet speeds in a dive at 2.3 battle rating. Now this is why this plane is so loved. And the elevator also stays functional. Of course, there is compression in this plane, most definitely so, but this is mostly in the roll rate and not in the elevator. Elevator does come in over 700, but it stays functional. You can still get out of a dive, of course, unless you maybe go straight down, but nobody dives that way, hopefully close to the ground. So these the speeds in a dive are absolutely incredible. You do have to be mindful of the control stiffening in the roll rate, which starts at 450-ish and another tick at 550, which you really gotta be, when you go for the kill basically at those kind of speeds, you have to take that into account, that you cannot make any quick adjustments, because that will not happen anymore after those speeds. So yeah, there is that, but all in all, I mean, it gives you a great weapon for boom and zooming that dive speed, and energy fighting is also very good because of the performance, but we'll get into that in a sec. The stall speed in this plane lies around 115 kilometers an hour. All these speeds, by the way, are in indicated airspeed without Mach. Just so you know, the stall speed is 115, but there is some iffy stall behavior in this plane, especially if you completely stall her out. It's difficult to get her back under control, and that is something to take into account when you go for stall maneuvers. That's why this plane is better at boom and zooming than energy fighting, because any kind of stall maneuvers can be a little bit tricky unless you have a real advantage there and you don't have to go to your ultimate stall speed, because that is really where the iffiness starts, the strange behavior, control problems at the ultimate stall speed, where she really drops out of the sky. That's where it becomes iffy. If you keep it 80 to 100 kilometers above that, you have good control still, but yeah, be mindful of it. Firepower in this plane is good. It might be very good. I have to fly it a little bit more. But it runs with two 12.7mm BREDA-SAFAT machine guns with 400 rounds per gun, which is great. I used air targets for the 12.7mm, but when you look at the belt compositions, universal and stealth are very real options as well. I got a little bit too greedy here and kept hanging behind the Yak 4. I thought actually at the end there the gunner was dead as well, but he wasn't. He was just reloading probably. But he killed my engine in that last burst. Lovely. And I've noticed this more in this plane. The engine is highly susceptible to damage. And you have to be careful there with head-ons and with this kind of behavior where you try to finish a plane off. And unfortunately I got an ace, but I'm not gonna make it back to base. I thought it might as well help out my ally there. But anyway, for the belts, for the 12.7s, air targets is what I used. Universal and stealth also look good to me and could also be very usable. You also have, this is supported by the two 7.7mm BREDA-SAFATs with 500 rounds per gun. I used universal belt for the 7.7s, which seems very good to me. But the stealth also has a very good composition. So those are both fine. I just hadn't flown with the BREDA-SAFATs in years, maybe, I don't know, long time. And I wanted to see where I was shooting. So I used air targets for the 12.7s and universal for the 7.7s. But great ammo loads on these things. You have huge amounts of ammo. And fantastic. This plane has no rockets, no bombs, so there is no versatility when it comes to that, to ground pounding or stuff like that. You just have the smaller caliber machine guns, but you have loads of it. So that is good. The ammo loads thus are excellent. Now performance in this plane. Acceleration in a straight line is good, and in a dive is very good. You also have very good energy retention in the horizontal, and in the vertical it is good. This plane has great performance and it has such high top speed, such capability to retain this speed that it is excellent as a boom and zoomer. It is untouchable actually as a boom and zoomer at 2.3 battle rating. At 2.3 and in down tiers it is untouchable. At up tiers at 3.3 you do get some competition into the mix that is capable of touching you actually. But if you fly this plane smartly, it is a menace to the enemy team, and it's just a very good plane. The climb rate is also very good. Very nice to see in this plane. You do get up there. There's some planes that can compete. You know, there's some of the 109s, some of the Spitfires, but this plane can definitely climb, and with a little bit of side climbing you can set her up the way she needs to be set up as a boom and zoomer, and you'll have some good times in this plane. Now, can this plane also turn? The turn time in the plane is decent, good with flaps. Flaps rip off at 570 kilometers an hour. Ah man, it sounds so great to say that. 570 kilometers an hour. That's a little bit different than the Spitfires that we visited this week, right? 570 for the flaps on this plane. You can use the flaps very nicely only in the later dive area. You don't want to use flaps, but for the rest, flap usage is good. Thumbs up. Roll rate in the plane is decent to good. Very nice on the higher altitudes with a little bit more speed. It's good. For the rest, it's decent. Overall maneuverability, I would say decent. It's not a turn fighter, but it can definitely compete with some of the boom and zoomers out there for maneuverability. So there is that. No need to sweat it in this plane. You just don't want to turn fight with dedicated turn fighters. But look at the effectiveness of those guns, man. Time and time again, I was surprised by these guns. I had a memory of pop guns, spaghetti guns in my head that didn't do anything. But these guns are fixed. I'm so happy for the Italian tree. That makes the whole Italian tree much more viable, like especially rank 1 and 2. I want to revisit, but I'm stuck in other trees at the moment. Anyway, durability in this plane is decent, can take a hit or two. The engine is a little bit vulnerable, as I said, but definitely feels like a sturdy plane. just that engine need to be watched. Not too many head-ons and stuff like that. The repair cost in this plane is absolutely crazy with 600 Silver Lions. It's absolutely fantastic repair cost. It almost costs nothing basically. That is set off though by the rewards. The research point multiplier is 336 and the Silver Lion multiplier is only 136%. That is absolutely terrible. Now the RP multiplier is below average with the 336, but the Silver Lions is almost like a regular plane, man. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe they wanted to offset the repair cost, but that is absolutely terrible, the Silver Lion multiplier. Maybe they did it because the plane is so damn good, but I haven't seen it on almost any other plane. I looked around, but this is the lowest Silver Lion multiplier on a premium plane that I ever saw at this battle rating. So know that. This is not your Silver Lion monster, but it will still make you money because this plane is so good. So this is an excellent plane for a premium plane, a bad Silver Lion multiplier, but hey, you can have it on this plane. It's a fantastic boom and zoomer and a good energy fighter that can turn fight a little bit when it's in a pickle as well against anything but dedicated turn fighters. So yeah, man, this plane is awesome and the guns work. This plane used to be great already. The C.202 that is in the regular tree. That was a great plane to fly anyway, even with spaghetti guns, even with pop guns that did nothing. But this plane has working guns that seem to be working like some of the better smaller caliber guns out there. So I had a great amount of fun in this plane. It was a good few hours of playtime and very enjoyable. Absolutely enjoyable. This is a great plane and it is definitely worth your time in the event to get this plane. This is I'm gonna ask Gaijin if I can get it for permanent, because I want to fly this out sometimes when I have some R&R time somewhere. This is worth it, man. This is a great plane. Now let's have a look at the stat card for this last match here. It's a huge amount of stuff we have here. Balancer, bulletproof, on hand, Terror of the Sky, best squad. Lovely indeed. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Wow, the guns work. The guns work. Smaller calibers, Italian BREDA-SAFAT. With the Japanese smaller calibers, they used to be some of the worst in the game, and they work. They're effective. They can kill stuff. It is amazing. It is amazing. Next to all the other stuff, the speeds in this plane, very fast plane. Top speeds in a dive are jet-like at 2.3 battle rating. In a down tier, 1.3 battle rating. 880 kilometers an hour dive speed when she rips. It's amazing. Excellent performance. Ammo loads are through the roof. Good firepower now. Climb rate is very good. Doesn't turn like a boss, but can still do some turning there. With great on the flaps as well with 570. Overall fantastic plane with a great repair cost, 600 Silver Lions. One of the main downsides is the Silver Lion multiplier. That is only 136, which is the absolute lowest I saw at 2.3 battle rating. But you can still make a lot of money with this plane, flying a boom and zoom style, energy fighting if you have to. And she can turn fight in a pickle. This is absolutely gorgeous. And she looks great as well. Italians flying style, right? You know that. Great designs. A little bit of vulnerability in the engine, but for the rest, this is a fantastic plane. I had great fun, and this is definitely a great first reward for this event. Definitely worth your time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video. Do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.